Like, for example, for me, the biggest stress is whether the door is locked when I'm sleeping. Although they have locked, I have this thing of, going and checking several times, and I get some kind of a stress. So I'm sure there are a lot of these little stress that we have in our day-to-day life. So can you talk a little about these kind of stress, and what is the kind of suggestions that you can give?
Hi everyone, good morning. It's really strange that we are discussing stress on a Saturday morning. I mean, it's weekend, right? But you see, fear, known, unknown, real, perceived, or even imagined, leads to stress. In fact, stress causes anxiety, and this anxious state can continue within you after the stressful situation may have subsided like a long time ago. That's because, like, you get used to things, you also get used to the feeling of being under stress. Stress also causes you to be in this emotional inertia where you keep feeling anxious, and even when there is no actual tension, you may come up with smaller things in your mind to keep yourself occupied and in that state of stress. Relationships have definitely become more emotional in the past 2 years, right? Especially the last 1.5 years because of the pandemic, but not necessarily in a positive way. So when you are at loggerheads with a loved one, the stress can reach another level because work may last for 8 to 12 hours every day, but our relationships are a part of us 24/7. I happen to be someone, I mean, Jyotika, when you said that you worry about the door being locked and whether you have turned the tap off and stuff, I happen to be someone who worries quite a bit. So I think it would be safe to say that people who worry too much can be called worriers. Mind it, I said worriers and not warriors, although they may constantly be at war with these nagging emotions. So when you have this tendency to worry, you overthink things and it becomes your way of life. You find yourself thinking, analyzing, reanalyzing practically everything that happens. Now, this has its advantages, like you always get prepared before, before the due date. Like when you're supposed to get work done by a certain date, you're always prepared before time. You may even be more prepared than other people who may be going through the same situation as you. But the disadvantages, the negatives, they cannot be ignored. When a stressful situation occurs and your heart rate begins to go up, your hands become sweaty, you start looking for an escape, or you get into that Rambo mode, ready to fight, all of this happens in full throttle. This two-option response stems from the hormone adrenaline, but overexposure to this hormone can be damaging to health. Adrenaline also controls the ability of your body to feel pain. This is why injured people have still been able to run away from a physical assault or fight back. We hear those stories in news, right? However, sometimes the body will release this hormone even when you're not facing actual danger. Also, adrenaline causes a release of glucose. So when no imminent danger is present, that extra energy has no use. And this can leave the person feeling restless, irritable, jittery, and nervous. The other stress hormone, which also is known as our body's alarm, it's cortisol. It works to control your mood, motivation, fear, and it plays an important role in how your body manages carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and it also regulates your blood pressure and sugar levels again, which is why we crave all the high calorie, low nutrition junk like chips, cookies, and desserts when we feel stressed or low. When you understand the role of stress hormones in regulating glucose in your body, you begin to realize how stress can also cause type 2 diabetes. So now we realize why they say that people who are stressed out are more prone to diabetes. Actually, it is the smaller things that make a whole lot of difference. Okay, so if you just cut down on caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, that will make a whole lot of difference in a very short amount of time. Mindfulness practices where obviously breathing comes into the picture, and do not underestimate the power of humor. It really helps. I mean, if you try and smile even consciously for 2 to 3 minutes every day, you will feel in just a few hours that your mood changes a little bit. Okay. Most importantly, balance. Do not forget that test that meeting, presentation, whatever, it's not more important than your health or well-being. You come first. And this is something I cannot stress enough of, is reach out and get help. Speak to someone who will understand your concern. It could be a loved one. And do not hesitate to even go for professional help. Consult a psychologist or your coach, because in our part of the world, getting the professionals into the picture when you are having some mental issue, like even emotional problems or any trouble of the mind, it is a huge, huge taboo, and we need to change that.
Yes, totally. I totally agree with this point, that the moment parting remarks or parting message from our coaches. Let's start with Uzma. Uzma, what is your parting message to the audience today?
Do not worry too much, because nobody got out of this world alive.
So true. Absolutely. Absolutely.